Hello and welcome to episode 5 of Making Towns. I am your host, Bobby Davies. This episode, I am lucky enough to be joined by fellow South Londoner, fellow sneakerhead, true grit, Conor Mills. Mills has become a stalwart of the British wrestling scene, featured heavily at places like Rev Pro, Progress, now making his name in Europe as well. So that's enough from me. Let's go talk to Conor Mills about life in the ring and life on the road. Conor Mills, where are we off to?
Wrestle Force in Dagenham today. Actually, this is where I did my first ever Wrestle Force for Ollie in 2016. Around this time, maybe April 2016. One of the first ever paid bookings I got. So
amazing.
I always like coming to this venue. It's pretty special to me in a way. It always just reminds me of that time, and always had a good relationship and a bit of loyalty to Ollie Peace because of it.
That's quite funny because when we were thinking of starting Purpose, Dave was like, you should go see how to set up a show. And the show I went to was Wrestle Force in Dagenham.
Wow, what year was that?
2021.
Yeah. Maybe I wrestled Mike on that one.
I think you did, yeah. I think I went there twice that year. I think you were on both
Jordan
shows.
on one of them.
Yeah.
Mike on one of them.
Oh, you got a memory for your matches. Or is it just that venue?
Yeah, just that venue. God, I'll look back on my list of matches I've had sometimes, and I'll just completely have forgotten about some of them.
Have you done like a Jericho-esque list where you've got everything noted down?
Yeah, so my first couple of years, I wrote it down physically on paper, pen and paper, so I've got those notebooks. And then from 2018 onwards, I kept it on my phone, so I've got all of that in my notes app. But then the last couple of years, I've only just put down the dates, not the matches and the venues and stuff. But I've still got them logged. So one day when I can be bothered, I'll go back and just try and log them all. But I'm pretty sure I'm around 700-800 matches now, which
That's
is
incredible, man.
Crazy when I look back on it. It really has flown by.
How long have you been doing it?
So on March 15th will be my 10-year anniversary. Since I went to my first training session. August 2nd this year will be 10th anniversary of me having my first ever match. But crazy, exactly. Flown by.
The first time I saw you wrestle was 2019, and I had met David. We were pals, and he was like, "Oh, we're wrestling." It was Battle Pro, and it was in those family shows.
Yeah.
And I can't remember where it was.
Was it in Sydenham, or was it the one that David ran from Mighty Pro?
No, it was Sydenham.
Sydenham. That's a real good venue. I thought about potentially running a show there myself, or wondered why no one else has run one there, because it's super close to home. It looks really cool on camera, the decorations and the way the layout is. It's a really nice venue.
If I remember rightly, Kafka got his coat stuck in the chandelier.
Yeah.
And Michael got Canadian destroyed by an about 11-year-old Neil Bryan, which was a hell of a moment to witness when your new friend had been like, "Come watch me wrestle." And I'm like, okay, and then okay, this child's Canadian destroyed.
Wait, I can explain.
Who you got today?
So it's me and Isaac Blair.
Second time, right?
Second time, yeah, in a couple of weeks. Seen him at a few shows. I heard he's quite good and whatnot, lots of potential. But yeah, when we wrestled, gelled really well, had good chemistry, really good kid. So it's nice to get to wrestle him again today. And in a bit more of venue is pretty close to me and the crowd that I like. Not opposed to the Fulham Boys School, but I guess a more wrestling-esque crowd today. So it'd be cool to do it in front of that crowd.
The Fulham Boys School was great. I did think the crowd were kind of finding their way into the show. And you and Isaac really kind of cemented them into, oh god, these guys are really killing each other.
Yeah, I think we're pretty blessed with where we were on the card, because you get it with some of these family crowds where they don't, not that they don't understand wrestling, but you have to kind of help them understand it.
Yeah.
So by the time we were on, the first few matches had done a good job of teaching them that. So I guess if we went on first or earlier, maybe we would have struggled to get the match over that we did. So by the time we were on, it was pretty nice that they appreciated it. I like to think they did.
I think you gave them something different as well.
Yeah.
Because the first two matches were kind of bigger boy matches, you know. I mean, David probably being the smallest one out of a lot of them, and he ain't a little boy.
Yeah.
And then you guys came in with your Muay Thai kicks. And
yeah, and this is the thing. I like doing these cypher matches at family shows, I feel like there's a bit of a misconception sometimes of like, oh, you don't have to like work that hard or kick the shit out of each other or whatever on like a family show or like go too hard. But I also think like, well, we're still doing it safely, like any other wrestling move. Like we're not hurting each other, like giving each other concussions and stuff like that. So I do think like something we can change a little bit, like doing that style a little more on family shows, and then after, kind of cemented by the fact that dads are coming up to us and like, wow, you really hit each other hard and like knocked a lot out of each other. I'm like, oh, good, that's kind of what we want you to believe, and we're both fine and safe as houses after.
I've known Isaac for about 5 months now, working at Wrestle Force, and him being a Muay Thai guy as well, and he likes his kicks.
Yeah.
And I was like, when I saw that Ollie Peace had booked that match, I was like, that'll be fantastic, because both of you work those kicks and it looks amazing.
Yeah.
And I thought this is going to be a match, and that Fulham Boys School didn't they all hit it?
Literally. But yeah, it's the thing. Like again, I always say about this type of style, like it's like a chop or like anything like a chest kick, a chop. Like you do hurt, but you don't injure you. If that makes sense. So like I'd never do something that. Or throw something that I thought would injure someone.
It stings in the moment, right? But it leaves no lasting.
Like I don't like getting chopped, but like I'm not going to say no or like complain about it. Like it's not going to injure me. Like I'm going to get up tomorrow. Honestly, I'd rather take chops and kicks than back bumps every day. Like you see a lot of the old school wrestlers now, like they're limping, like in wheelchairs. So sadly, from the like a lot of bumping and feeding and like the old school, which is more not move heavy. Like obviously today's wrestling is move heavy. But a lot of it was just like big flip bumps off the top, big back bumps, like power bombs, and that, honestly, that to me is so much more like dangerous and risky for your body in the long term than a chop or a kick to the leg.
I don't know if it's people of like my age. I'm a bit older than you, but like we're so used to seeing wrestling moves, power bomb slams, that actually the chops and the kicks seem more vicious in the moment.
Yeah, maybe that's the thing, right? We've probably been conditioned to it now, like to see bumps and that. So now. Again, Japanese wrestling having such an influence on Western wrestling with the chops and kicks and stuff, kind of, it's still a little new to see it as often as I've seen it now. So maybe that's why we're winced and it's getting a little more appreciated as, like, seen as a little more real, because we're kind of used to seeing the bumps and the big moves and the bumping fees and whatnot.
So on to the main thrust. I think I said this to you when we arranged it. It's kind of about how much travelling you do. You said you came back from Cardiff at 4 a.m. this morning before we turned on the camera.
Oh man!
Coming down from New Wave, which sounds like you had a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
You're current tag team with Nico, aren't you? You've got a couple of titles now, haven't you?
Yeah. So I team with Nico. Like we started at Progress, but now we're doing it at New Wave and at Issue Man on Monday. Also tag with Jay Joshua, who's mainly at Red Pro.
I love Jay Joshua.
There.
What a lad.
So, end goal, ideally, will be able to get us as a trio somewhere. But yeah, on to last night. There's a lot of travelling. So Thursday, we had the Ceasefire show, which is in Waterloo, which is super easy to get to from home, like lovely. And then up early yesterday morning, drive all the way to Wales. And getting there on a Friday is a pain because whoever's driving, I'll try and meet them outside of like North London, so they don't have to come in and out or cross the river, which is a ball ache. But always, it's like 3 hours on the sat nav, but it ends up being 4.5 hours because of the Friday evening traffic. But then we leave about 3 or 4 hours on the way back with a couple of stops. And yeah, drop off last night, and then me after in at 4 a.m. just slept like a baby. Even late to meeting you a little bit earlier because of it, just behind on my day.
Who do you normally drive with? Who do you ride with?
So, last few times I've gone up with Callum Beck.
Oh, yeah.
So he's trying to get out and about there. So I'm hoping to get him on the next New Wave in a tag against me and Nico with Kian. So that would be cool.
He looks like a little version of you, does Callum? He's been getting that chant already.
Yeah. And we normally drive up. He lives in like Berkhamsted, so kind of like outside of Watford Junction.
Yeah, he's actually given me a ride a few times when not been out to when the wife's needed the car.
So yeah, like it's pretty handy. Like it's not too bad to get to him on the train, and then because we're out of London, we luckily get to avoid all of that in and out of London headache traffic, like getting across the bridge and stuff.
It's the worst, man. The worst.
Yeah, especially during the day.
Anyone else you regularly drive around with, get lifts from? So you don't
Yeah,
drive,
with
right?
David. Yeah, I don't drive, but yeah, with David a lot to Rev Pros and stuff like that. It's always a fun car journey. If it's like me, him, Mike, Jordan Shaw, it's just always a good laugh, and that definitely makes a car journey more fun if there's like several of you and you're pretty close friends. Just can have a laugh and just talk the journey away.
I bet you, with the 5 of you in there, you're glad David's upgrading the size of that car.
Yeah,
The
tell me about it. That's the thing, like, I hate to complain because obviously don't drive, so I'm very grateful to get lifts and stuff, but my God, when it's several of you with all your cases crammed in the back, it's not pleasant.
Come pick you up in a big SUV.
Might be just the two of us as well.
Who do you like riding with? You said those boys are obviously, that's a good list. Sharp, but Michael.
With David or with Gio to shows. Like, he doesn't do as many outside of London now, so he doesn't drive as much. But Gio is always a good laugh as well. We'd always just talk the journey away and laugh it away. But I've been getting trained a lot more recently because having a rail card helps. Like, promoters are a little more inclined to pay for a train if it's a third off and you can find like a good off-peak one up to the north or something. So I do like train travel as well. I think when you're on the train, it's just like pretty smooth and got the toilet there, got a lot of leg room and whatnot.
Your own choice of tunes.
Yes,
which takes me on to my next question. Who's got the good tunes? Who's got the shit tunes? They're your questions. Go on. We've had Mark True dob Callum in for having rubbish taste.
He's gonna hate me for this, but Matt Raven, brother-in-law, like, it's just not my like. I don't mind it, and it's his car, so his rules. But his like country and rap is like, it's kind of country rap, like it's like a little bit of Kid Rock and stuff like that. It's not my cup of tea. Like, it's not my cup of tea at all. God, David has pretty good tunes, and to be fair, David lets me DJ a lot. So I'll just like, what do you want? And I'll like ask everyone and make a little queue.
Kind of, a bit of a democracy on the playlist. Yeah, I love Matt Raven. Matt Raven, I've said it to his face, he's the best photographer in BritRes, and I'm going to now also accuse him of being the worst DJ in BritRes. So there you go.
I'm glad we can agree on something.
And we've had, actually, Michael said David's choice in tunes was pretty good. And having worked with David for a long time, he also does like to listen to comedy music, but I think he keeps that to himself.
Yeah, when I first met him, so there's a guy called Dylan who started training with us. He doesn't wrestle anymore, but we still see him and hang out with him. But when I first met him and Dylan at the old Knucklelock school, they would always be singing the Lonely Island songs to each other.
Yeah.
And I caught him one day like singing it in the car, and I was like, "You unironically really enjoy this?" He's like, "Yes, I do."
Yeah. Like, for me, comedy music's like, I'll watch it on a YouTube video, maybe 10 minutes. There's a laugh, right? I'm gonna go do something else now, but not like on a car journey.
Yeah, very 2012, 2013, popular on YouTube. That was when it was funny, but in the car. And he actually did it recently. I think we were like jokingly singing it or like reminiscing on that time where him and Dylan would be singing it. And he was like, "Can you cue it up?" And I said, "Yes, David."
Yeah, I don't often let David choose the tunes. Keely's got good taste in music, not so much with David. I don't mind some of his stuff.
Yeah,
I feel like he's got some people he's willing to open that side of his taste up, and I'm one of them. He's like, I'm just going to put these shitty comedy songs on. Like, okay, David.
No, he's a bit of a dark horse in music. Is Oscar, the ref.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've travelled with him a few times, and he's got a very, very like good mix. Like, there's a lot of variety. They're like pop punk, and there'll be like some 80s, and then there'll be like some heavy metal, and then there'll be some rap, like back to back. Like, it's a very good mix. And I think he's made it his car playlist because I've heard the same order a few times, but like it's always a good length. There's always someone in the car, multiple people in the car, like enjoying the songs. So I was like, tailored that pretty well.
I need to have a sit down with it. That sounds like my kind of thing. I used to work in a record store, so mine's quite varied as well.
Oh yeah.
But when I have people over, or whatever, I tend to make custom playlists that circle through genres.
Yeah.
I try to link the genres as well. So if I'm linking like rock and rap, I find stuff like the Transplants.
Yeah.
To put in the middle, Travis Barker stuff, a bit rocky, a bit rappy.
Yeah.
So you saw you had your meal prep, but what's your, like, if you're travelling around, if you got to make a pit stop, you had to go to Cardiff, you said, where do you stop in if you haven't got meal prep? What's your...
So it's real bad. Today I got meal prep. Number one, save money. Number two, because these meal preps are like good on the macros and protein and stuff. but usually on the weekends I'm real bad with it because it's kind of like Monday to Friday, like at home or like training and whatnot, so I can be pretty consistent and whatnot with my diet. And whenever on the road, I just like fuck it, don't care. On the road, always Greg's.
Greg's is your thing,
my
is it?
go-to. Yeah,
What's your order?
Love Greg's. So yesterday was pretty bad. I had a pepperoni pizza slice, steak bake, chicken bake, and sausage, bean, and cheese melt.
I mean, I know you're getting to be a big lad, but
yeah, that's what I mean. Like I had that, I was like, I've just had so many bad macros now.
yeah, but like to maintain your muscle mass, you got to have calories, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah,
even if they
exactly.
come from bad shit,
it's not ideal, but yeah, it's better than nothing. And it is my favourite. Greg's. It's just the price, convenience, everything about Greg's I love.
Me and you are from same ends, and there was a point where Bromley, which would be both of our local kind of shopping centre, they had 2 Greg's.
Yeah, they did.
I think they still have.
There's a new one now.
Yeah,
the
big
one
old boy, isn't it?
The one that was on the high street, like on the Market Square, is closed down, but like opposite it, I think by CX's, next to CX, like a new, bigger one.
Oh, it's massive.
Yeah, it's huge.
Then there's the one down by the station as well.
Yeah.
So I used to come in for work, and that was my morning thing, like a croissant and a tea from Greg's, because the only place that can do a takeaway tea decent is Greg's.
Yeah. And like the prices is unbeatable.
Oh yeah.
Being on the road a lot, like you just become a bit of a stickler for the price of things, because services obviously just bump everything up and make it ridiculously expensive. So like a coffee at a Costa Services, black coffee is like £4.50. It's a joke.
Yeah.
You go to Greg's and it's like £3 with a sausage roll or something. It's like, well, you can't say no.
Yeah, I've driven with Ollie Peace once. We drove out to a show you were on, actually. We drove out to Billy Hayes' promotion, Creation.
Yeah, Creation.
And Ollie stopped twice for coffee and then got a coffee when we got to Cardiff.
Yeah, it's the coffee fiend, isn't it?
I think it's like 15 quid worth of coffee.
Yeah, anytime at a show and I go to the shop, he's like, can you get me a black coffee? I was like, yes.
I think that was the show. I only did one Creation show where I did sound. I think that's the show you flipped off the balcony.
Yeah, we did it twice. We did the one where I moonsaulted off the balcony.
Yeah.
And then we did the one where we did a triple Spanish fly off the balcony.
I
Which is
think
probably
it was
the
the
stupidest spot I've ever done in my life. God.
You had a lot of people to catch you as well.
Yeah, I just remember Brendan White, bless him, was one of the catchers, and he just caught a leg to the head and it absolutely rocked him. And I was like, I feel so bad. You weren't even on the show, you're just helping out, and you just got absolutely rocked.
Couldn't happen to a nicer guy.
Yeah.
And like you say, people say that ironically. No, Brendan's lovely.
Yeah, he's the best.
I say, like, when you say you're getting the train a lot, and obviously you said some people let you have the aux, as the kids used to say. Probably not anymore because no cars have them anymore.
Yeah, no, everything's on the Bluetooth connect now, the Apple Play or whatnot.
What are you picking? What's your...
It depends on the mood, really. So some shows, like I'm on the way and I'm like real pumped up for the show, and this is kind of the same when it comes to like my pre-match sort of warm-up playlist and whatnot.
Yeah.
Some days I'm just on the show and I feel like really locked in and really like ready to go. So I'll kind of be some like heavy rap, like ASAP Rocky and like real intense music. But then other days, like, I don't know, a day like today is perfect. I was walking to the gym earlier and like sun's out finally.
Oh,
it's not
mate.
super freezing for once. I got my headphones in and I'm just listening to like chill rap, like Lil Yachty, and like nice ASAP like chill song on the way to the gym, smiling.
You're pretty much exclusively a rap guy, right? That's your
I do. I'm inclined to like a little bit of rock. I mean, I saw Slipknot in December in Birmingham.
Oh, how was that?
That was incredible. It really was. They did. They said like we're not going to do anything from '99 onwards. So they just did like the first couple Slipknot albums, like the whole of them, like back to back.
Oh no! When a band finally gives you that kind of like, oh yeah, the good stuff. You mean? Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
I saw Jimmy Eat World do their first 2 albums back to back. Just played the albums in full, and it was incredible. They did the first half, had a break, come out and played the second album. It was no sport act.
I remember seeing Sum 41 at Brixton Academy about 7-8 years ago, and it was incredible. Like, it's the longest gig I've ever been to, but like the best. Like, they went for 2 hours non-stop and they played like every banger that they have.
I'm almost certain I was there. Right?
Yeah, Brixton Academy.
Yeah, I've seen Sum 41 about 6 or 7 times.
Yeah, I love them, man. They're probably my favourite band. Them or Blink-182.
They were my band that got me into like rock music. Sum 41.
Same, yeah. I'd say the same.
I think I saw In Too Deep on like randomly skipping through the channels one day. I was like, I'm a convert.
Yeah.
Before that, I was completely rap, like Eminem.
I think
was
the first
what got me.
exposure to music I had was like the video for Fat Lip.
Oh, mate,
spin in the skate park.
And if you like Jackass, it kind of all went hand in hand.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
Because my oldest brother's 10 years older than me, so growing up, he was like 16, like during the time it was like Sum 41, Jimmy Eat World, like Newfound Glory, like all of those bands. Like he was that age growing up, so it's what I'd hear in the house, what he'd show me. So it's kind of my first experience to music. So I think that's why Sum 41's probably my favourite.
I assume you're already booked, man. You got to make it to Slam Dunk one day.
Yeah, he went last year, I believe, and he said it was like really good, but it's so annoying because like they always fall on weekends. Yeah, there's always a show on. Like last year, I really like it. Was so annoying because I didn't know until like closer to the time. But my brothers and my sister and Nat, they always go to download. Like they've been quite a few times. They were like last year, like come, like you have to come. And I was like, no, I'm pretty sure I'll be wrestling. Got to around like a couple of weeks before, and I was like,
not wrestling.
Got this whole week off, like I'm not wrestling. Gutted.
You got to think if NXT UK was a thing now, man, that could have been a thing you were on. Download for free.
Yeah. God.
Because they did the shows there, didn't they? Mm-hmm. My mate used to go. I'm not a big like overnight festival guy. I like a day festival.
Yeah. I've never been to like an overnight festival. I've only ever been to. I mean, it's a rap music wireless festival in 2 days, but like it was in Crystal Palace, so I just went home between each day.
Absolutely. You're fucking getting in your own bed, man.
Yeah.
Speaking of Sum 41, just as a thing, I saw them once. I don't know what it was. Apparently, they'd forgotten to book a UK date for their European tour, and very last minute, they booked the Underworld.
Oh my god!
Which is like 200 people.
Yeah.
And I managed to get 4 tickets somehow. And this is
crazy.
I'm talking. I mean, how old are you now? 26 or so?
Yeah, 26.
I think I'm about 27 at this point, 28 maybe, pushing, and I'm past my like pit phase. Right, I'm not in the pit anymore. I don't do that anymore. I stand at the back. I have a beer. And I watched the show, and this was an exception. Like, me and my friend Rob gave our bags to our friend Reese. Was like, Reese, we're going in the pit. You'll take these, right? Yeah. We was just like, fucking mental. Yeah. Like, it was.
Yeah, I've definitely got clips of me in the pit at Sum 41 as well. Bricks and like me and my. So I went with my 2 brothers and one of their girlfriends, and they stayed like my oldest brother and his girlfriend at the back watching. Me and my other brother just like, let's go in. Went to the pit, and we were in the pit for the whole show, and we like bought merch at the start of the show and like put the shirts on. We left the pit. It was disgusting. We left the pit like jeans, t-shirt, like we'd been in a swimming pool, and I was like, this is so gross, but it was incredible. One of my core memories of my brothers, which is great as well.
That's so cool. Yeah, my friend Connor was a fucking fiend for a pit. Come out shirtless, lost a shoe. I'm like, where's your stuff? He's like, I don't know. I just don't know. Occasionally you'd wait and find the shoe maybe, but...
Oh my god, I've got a funny story for you, and it's really embarrassing, but in hindsight...
An exclusive, let's go.
I went to Neck Deep about 3 years ago, and I bought these new Timberland. I say new. I was looking for some Timberlands and quite expensive shoes, so I always have a little look on like Facebook Marketplace or Vinted and whatnot. So this guy was selling some Timberlands, like black ones. It's like brand new, like I got them for Christmas, unworn. And I was like, well, that's like a quarter of the price to what they are in the store. So I was like, I'll buy them. When I met him, bought them, like looked super legit. So I was like, I'll wear them to Neck Deep. Put them on, went in the pit, like not joking, came out of the pit, and both the soles had completely come off. So it looked like I was wearing like these really thick black socks. And there's a picture somewhere, and I ended up going back to like a friend who lived in like Essex. So we were on the train at the train station. He was just filming me, and then I went down to my feet, zoomed in. It just looked like I was wearing these weird black boot socks, and I was so embarrassed. But I was like, well, I guess that's what I get for buying them off Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, fakes, man, some fakes.
And I even messaged the guy. I was like, I'm not even angry. Ha ha ha. Here's a picture, and then he just blocked me.
Yeah, because he knew you were onto him.
So I was like, I'll never get the money back.
Yeah. That's funny. You're gonna have to give me that video so I can
find that picture. Yeah, put it in here.
It's one of the things me and you first really spoke about. You came to Purpose. We're both sneakerheads. I love a shoe.
Yes.
In fact, I saw you in a pair of. They must have been £400 or £500 Jordan
Blues.
1s.
Yeah,
Jordan
Baby
1s.
Blues, my favourite. God.
Resale value through the roof. Exclusives.
Yeah, it's crazy. The resale on them is crazy. I want to get more, but like you said, it's just so expensive. It's such an addictive hobby.
Yeah, man. Like I've actually blocked myself. I haven't bought a pair in about 9 months.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I bought a pair of trainers, but I've got TMs on at the moment, black ones. And I just wear like so reliable, just wear them everywhere. Go with like any outfit, but they're starting to see the end of their days, I think. But I think I'm just going to get another similar pair after, and maybe get some Jordans in a few months as a treat.
There's a few sneaker guys in wrestling. Ashmore's another one, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have to stop myself as well. It's insane. I'm pretty good at going to the outlets at the end of season and stuff and picking up bargains. I got a pair of Adidas Forums for about 40 quid. They're the limited Laker ones, the gold and purple ones. But
still, it's a great price. Yeah, I'm going to America in April for a month, and I intend on going to all the outlets there and having a little look about. And I've even had some friends ask, like, "Oh, if you go to Nike, can you get me this or get me that? Or look out for this." And
that's what really got me going on outlets, was going to America with my wife.
Yeah,
we went to, the first time I went, it was Florida, and I got a pair of Air Force Ones for about $60, which at the time was about £40.
We're in Florida.
We were by Disney, and I can't remember the name of the outlets. There's about 4 outlets within the half hour, 45-minute drive though.
Jeez.
They're constant outlets.
I'm going to Florida. I'm going to Fort Lauderdale.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I assume I'll be near lots of outlets there.
If you want me, I'll ask Katie, and she can give me the list of the outlets she went to. She's one of those Disney kids who used to get taken every other year by her parents, so she knows the area. So I'll find out what the outlets were called, and I'll hook you up.
Perfect.
But I came back with 3 pairs of trainers.
Come back with an extra suitcase full of trainers.
Get the walking through customs and be like, I probably need to declare this, but yeah. So speaking of travelling then, let's do UK first. What's the furthest you've gone for a show? You go to Cardiff, have you ever been up to like North or even Edinburgh or anywhere like that?
So UK wise, yeah, I've been up to Glasgow in December. It was the first time, and it's weird because I've done loads of Europe, but this year, or December and then February this year were the first times I ever did Scotland and Ireland.
Oh, nice.
Which is weird because I went to Europe so much. So I went to Glasgow in December for CPW, Community Pro Wrestling. It's run by Bobby Davies, and it's a real good thing he's got going on there. Like a lot of younger kid trainees and stuff, but like the whole sort of program and way he runs it is like really good. Like he said, like growing up, he was like in and out of a lot of trouble and like with the wrong crowd and whatnot. It's like he does this also to like help those kids and do the same thing. So he's got a real good thing going there. And then in Ireland, it was for OTT, which is incredible. It's like a bucket list venue, bucket list promotion, and bucket list country. So you got to tick 3 things off there. Wrestled Robbie X.
Can't ask for a better dance partner, right?
Yeah, exactly. Especially since we wrestled each other so much, and it's nice to kind of full circle it now and see the wrestlers we've both become since we wrestled last. And just put the match together like that. It's really nice.
And you get to look, great in front of a new crowd because you know you're going to work great together.
Yeah.
He's now Bullet Club, right? So that's a bigger deal.
Yeah.
Cool. It's very cool.
Yeah, really cool venue as well. The National Stadium, looks so good looks good in person, looks so good on camera as well. Like not low ceiling as in you stand on the ring, you can touch the ceiling, but like low ceiling for the capacity is like fits 2,000 in there. We usually get around that, just over. So it looks really such a cool setup, and bonus as a wrestler, the ring is like a trampoline. Actually, it's such a nice bump and just springing and bouncing off.
David says Ollie's ring's his favourite ring in the UK.
Yeah,
comparable.
Yeah, definitely up there.
So with that said, what's your favourite? Well, your closest to home venue.
Closest to home, Falconwood, UKBW, or it's a little further. But legit, travel wise, it's easier to get there if I'm traveling on public transport. So if I'm going to Falconwood, probably take me about half an hour, 35, maybe 40 minutes to get there because the train, even though it's close, it's on the different line. So I have to go out a little bit and then back in.
That's the only thing with public transport in London. I think, although this is a shortish drive where we're going now from where you are, it's actually public transport must be a bit over an hour, right?
To be fair, I've done this venue on public transport before, and it's not too bad. I mean, it's probably about 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And the main thing is like the walks from stations to venues. So like this one, I think Dagenham Heathway is the nearest station. So like going to Cannon Street and then getting on the district line, I think it is, to Dagenham Heathway. Probably all in all about 35 minutes. But then once you come off, it's like 15-minute walk to the venue around all the back roads and stuff. It's just a bit inconvenient. But yeah, drive is probably similar. And I mean, we've also come at probably rush hour time.
Yeah, it's a weekend, but there is that kind of mini rush hour at the weekend with people heading back home from their days out and
all the
stuff.
football's on, everyone's trying to get home and get out to watch that. Rugby's on, England and Ireland today. England and Wales.
Crystal Palace just won today.
I think Arsenal lost to West Ham, which is very sad.
Oh, there you go. But we played Fulham, so that's 2 London games happening. In London, you know.
You're a Crystal Palace fan then?
Yeah. I'm originally from Croydon, so
near Selhurst.
So I used to have to get the bus from behind the house where I grew up. My mum still lives there. But I used to have to get the bus all the way to the ground in about 25 minutes. Yeah.
Whereabouts in Croydon did you grow up?
Addington.
Oh, yeah.
Which is why we did Mighty there.
That's where, not Addington, I have wrestled there, but the first ever training school I went to was in New Addington.
No, that's where I'm from, New Addington. Yeah, it's the same thing, but they're connected to each other.
Sorry, not New Addington, Addiscombe.
The
tram stop, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You can get on the trams in New Addington.
Yeah. So that's why we did Mighty there. So when David and I organised Mighty, he was like, "Where do you want to go?" And I said, "Well, this is going to be a little bit soppy, but it's similar to what you said about being in Glasgow. I loved wrestling as a kid.
Yeah.
And the opportunity to see wrestling, especially back late 90s, early 2000s, was fewer and further between, right?
Yeah.
Occasionally they had like all-star wrestling at Fairfield.
Yeah.
But it was maybe once a year. And it felt like I wanted to do something in my hometown and do something for kids. And it's just something I would have loved. I was just like, fuck it, let's do Addington. And David said, actually, I've wrestled in Addington before.
Yeah.
And we used the same venue. We are looking at doing Addington again, but looking at up the top end with a bit more connection and stuff up there.
So I was supposed to do a show there. God, this was like November 2015. It's a real big shame, but like obviously in hindsight, it doesn't matter, whatever. But we did this show, and at the time, the promotion I was working for, was like home promotion, first place I started training. They would do like a weekly web show at the training school, like that we'd film put on YouTube, like just in front of each other. And then once a month we'd do like a hall show. And this was like the biggest seller one we had. We had like a nearly 200 pre-sale.
Oh wow!
And it was in Addington. It was really close to the tram stop, a little bit more in the town of it. And it was this hall, and we set up the ring. And
that'll be the community centre. Yes, the only place big enough.
Yeah. And the guy doing the ring left us to set it up, and because they'd used this ring a few times, he's like, "You guys know how to set up, right?" And they set the brackets up the wrong way.
Oh man!
So like during the first match, someone just bumped and the ring just went boom, and the knee snapped, and we were like, the first match, and we were all like trying to put it back together and stuff, and we were like, show's done. So 200 people there, biggest crowd I've ever had. In the first match, the rings broke.
Oh, that's like heartbreaking.
Yeah, it was heartbreaking. It was the first show where like I got like all my brothers and my sister to come.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like, can't do it now.
Mate, I'm actually gutted for you. This was 10 years ago.
yeah, exactly. Like since then, I've done some real cool stuff, which they've come to see. Like Dad come and saw me at Wembley Arena, which is awesome. In like 2018 for Progress. So.
And they did the Rumble and stuff, right?
Yeah, they did the Rumble, and then we did the Thunder Bastard tag match, which was absolute. Just the whole structure and everything of that was like a headache. More for the promoters. So like, I think there was 8 or 9 teams in it, and they wanted every team to wrestle each other. And the way the brackets would work was like, the most wins would enter the Thunder Bastard last. Least wins would, and then the middle would even itself out. But that meant every team had to wrestle each other, and there was only about a 7 or 8 month period that they announced that to do all of those matches in.
So that's Progress, right? So they were doing one monthly show then, weren't they?
A couple of months like dome shows as well. But it meant they had to book like every single combination of tag match of all the people in it. So there was actually a point where I messaged the promoter and said at the time, and I was like, "Hey, we haven't wrestled these two teams for the thing." And he was like, "Oh my god, you're right, you haven't." And the reason I asked, because like the Wembley show was like 2 weeks later. So last minute, he flew us to, because they were doing Progress in WXW in Germany. So literally like 2 days before, he's like, "Are you free on the weekend?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "I'll book you guys flights to Germany now. And we'll do the matches there."
Is that you and Lewis?
Yeah, it's me and Mayhew.
So speaking of you're travelling abroad, as you said, mentioned Germany. Where else have you hit?
Oh, so France and Italy. I'm pretty sure like drew tie-in at most. So I went to Italy loads. I think I've been to Italy like 15 times at least now to wrestle.
Is that going with John Saeed? I know he's a...
No, I've only ever been there once with him, actually. And first time was for a holiday, so it wasn't even wrestling related. But yeah, it's mainly Milan. So I've been to Milan loads to wrestle. But at the moment, I think France has taken over. Like the last few times I've been to France, where I get the little stamp at the border control, the last 2 times, like not flagged up, but they've asked me like, "Why are you in France so much?" Or like, "Why do you spend so much time here?" Like, and they're like, "Why are they such short trips?" Like in and out. And I was like, "Oh, like for wrestling, like WWE," and they're like, "Oh, okay," and they stamp it. And they'll go through and like just keep looking at me, going through the pages to find an empty one because there's so many stamps on it.
Why are you here, boy?
So yeah,
like those short journeys, they must be like, is he drug smuggling?
yeah, exactly. I'm like, oh god, it's making me nervous.
At least they'll just find wrestling boots. So
yeah. I was like, I was just smelly gear, so I apologise to the sniffer dog for that. But yeah, France, Spain, Italy, Germany, Hungary, and I think that might be it. Maybe I'm missing one. But there's like a few on my bucket list. Like I want to hit up, love to hit up like Denmark, Sweden, like Croatia, like a lot more European places. Because I love Europe. Like I just love going there, like exploring, like seeing new places, like trying new foods and stuff like that. Like it's definitely like a humongous perk of wrestling. Like whenever I'm tired or sore or beat up and whatnot, I'm like, actually I get to do like such a cool thing as part of like the job. So really can't complain.
Hell of a life, isn't it?
Yeah, tell me about it. I mean, it's obviously tedious. I mean, driving around so much, but when you get to have good matches and like really feel that energy of the crowd, and then when you guys put all the production and stuff together, and like put something good out and done some good wrestling, and like everything overall at the package and presentation of it is good. It's just forget about all of these like little car journeys and like the stress of like traveling and stuff. Like it all just goes away instantly.
With America, who are you going out there with, or is this off your own back to go train? And
yeah, it's just off my own back to go and train and like hang out there. Kind of something I want to do for a while, and I thought, you know what, April when I'm going, it's going to be the best time. Like, didn't really have any commitments here.
So many shows over April because of WrestleMania weekend,
so
right?
I'm going to hit up WrestleMania week, I think, as well. So I'm staying with a friend in Florida, and then going to probably get like a domestic flight or find a travel to Las Vegas from there.
Oh, nice.
Spend like 5 days there, try and get some shows over there. Got a couple that I'm in talks with at the moment, which hopefully will come through.
A lot of them heard your name out there.
A few. I mean, it really helped. I think a few weeks ago, or about a month ago, I wrestled Effie, who's GCW champion.
Yes, I know.
I wrestled him the BZW and GCW crossover show.
Oh, nice.
And the GCW promoter was there, so I'm kind of hoping you see me wrestle with your champion and have a pretty good match with him, so I'm reliable. So I'll be in America, can me do something there.
Yeah, it's just to get the right eyes on you, right?
Yeah, for sure.
If you don't mind asking, who you staying with?
Just staying with Mark Davis, the Aussie.
Yes. Yeah, good. That'll be a fun stay, I would have thought.
Yeah, really fun. Because I mean, he'll be travelling in and out, I assume, for AEW work and stuff. So
might be able to even give you some time backstage or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're going over like mainly for networking and stuff as well. Yeah. I mean, gonna save some money. Want to treat it as like a trip and obviously try and earn some stuff out there. But ultimately, it's like I want to take a bit of a risk, go and try something new, and like kind of go on and stay in I've never really stayed in another country for like a prolonged amount of time. So like spending a month there, like kind of beyond wrestling experience, a bit of life experience as well, to just operate on my own and go and explore. And I've always been pretty good in like international countries on my own. I know a lot of people, I completely understand why, but a lot of people kind of get lost or need some help navigating or like staying in pairs and stuff, and I kind of always just go like exploring on my own.
I mean, you're in a good place to explore. So Florida's a crazy place. There's some great stuff to do.
Yeah, it looks incredible.
I'll say the Americans have already turned their nose up at this, but if you get a chance to go to Denny's, it's fucking amazing.
I want to, yeah, I really want to.
You can get American hash browns and a fat burger. That's the best.
The dream. Yeah, I've only ever been to New York. I went to New York in 2019.
Oh, nice.
And that was really fun. But yeah, we were there for the week, for WrestleMania week. But yeah, it was awesome. It was really, really good.
I suppose you've got some other contacts you can help as well. I know you recently wrestled Stephen Wolf.
Yeah.
He's in Texas, right? So I know it's a bit of a travel, but if you...
Yeah, and that's the thing, like I'm kind of very open to just go about and travel and whatnot. I know their car drives are like triple, quadruple the length of ours. So...
Well, this is the thing me and Michael said though, when he was in Canada, he was like, it's a 6-hour drive, but it's like, yeah, but you get in, the sat nav says 6 hours and it takes 6 hours. You get in a car here, it says, it's going to take 3, and then you know it's going to go 3.5, 4, 5. But that's the difference. Like when you know it's 6, you can prepare mentally, and get yourself comfortable. When you think it's going to be 3, and then it turns out to be 5, 6, you're like, fuck this.
Yeah.
There was a Wrestle Force show where TK and Amira were on it, and they made the mistake of messing with the Friday rush hour. They arrived as the fucking first bell went.
I think the worst one we've ever done, and this is on us, is like a couple of summers ago. It was a New Wave show. And KM Lane, I don't know if you're familiar with him.
I've only met him recently, but yes, I have.
Really good dude. He drove me up to New Wave and picked Gio up on the way, because where Gio is in West London, you kind of more or less pass him on the way out.
Yeah.
And so like, we'll pick you up. And I think I met KM Lane at Dartford because he lives that way. And I was it's my fault. I was like, so every time I go to Cardiff now, I leave like egregiously early because of this trip. But at the time, I was like, let's meet. So Brendan wanted us at the venue for about 5, so the show has started. And so meet and greet at 6, show doors 6:30, show at 7. So like, what else there around 5? So I was like, let's meet at like 1:32.
Yeah.
KM Lane at Dartford. Then we got stuck in Dartford in traffic for about an hour. And then we had to drive to Gio's and got to Gio's about 4 p.m. And then from Gio's it was still like 2 hours 45. Yeah. So I had to message Brendan like, hey mate, on the way, like probably going to get there around 7:38.
Jeez.
And he was like, okay, I'll put you on in the second half before the main. And we were around the corner and he was like, mate, the interval's finishing, like where are you? And I was like, we're around the corner, we're parking up now, get to the venue, and I'm wrestling Leon Cage, the first time I ever met him. We get there and we put the match together in about 5 minutes, and then I'm like, see you out there, mate. So luckily I had like a nice good match with him. I was like to Brendan, I was like, I'm so sorry, I'll never do it again, but it's just the stress of it. But then you kind of get there and you don't really have a lot of time to maul and just like stretch. So it's kind of in a weird way like a good thing that you don't get to stress and maul over and go over the match so much in your head. You kind of get there and you're like, well, let's go.
We'll call it out there, brother.
Yeah. And that's a lost art, in my opinion, as well. Like, just being able to go out there and just call it on the fly. Definitely a good skill to have in your back pocket for instances like that.
I've watched a couple of the guys at Wrestle Force go for it to test if they can do it. So James Farrell, only last summer, I think you were on the show actually. It was the show in Loughton.
Yeah.
You were on the show, but he went out there, I think with Levi, and they called it on the fly. They were like, yeah, let's call it on the fly.
Wicked.
Yeah. I was very impressed with the match as well. I was like, I heard them say they were going to call it on the fly, and then they went out there and had a banger. Yeah.
I had one with Ollie at Southend. I don't know if you've done that venue yet. It's only one runs.
Yes, the school, yeah.
The school.
Next weekend, though.
I did a couple for him there. On one of them, we wrestled each other, and then I was like, we've wrestled each other loads. I was like, should we call it on the fly? I was like, only thing planned, like, we'll do this for the finish. It's great. And then, we called it on the fly, and it's just such a fun, good match. Like, it's just nice to be able to do that, like, have that ability as well. Like, kind of a good confidence booster. Remind yourself that you can do it.
This is a couple of times this has come up on the show now, but Ollie Peace, massively underrated wrestler.
Oh, yeah, hugely underrated. Like, I think people forget, like, he's one of those wrestlers as well. Like, you could put him in any spot on the card and he'll do just as good in any spot. Like, Ollie will need a 5-minute opener with this new person who's never had a match before, and he'll be able to do that role perfectly. Or you can put him in there with like an experienced wrestler and say, closing the first half, like have a banger. He can also do that. So yeah, massively underrated.
I mean, same with purpose. We put him in there full scale anyway. Nino, great match.
Yeah, excellent match.
Yeah, and Sapphire Reed recently spoke to her about her match with Ollie. She said it was one of the easiest matches I've ever worked.
Yeah, it's so easy, so easy.
And yeah, he's criminally underrated, bless him. I think he should have, but he doesn't mind that. I don't think. I think he likes doing what he does. The family shows.
Of course. Like his operation with Wrestle Force is like almost flawless, and there's a reason he's been around for so long as well with Wrestle Force. So I completely understand why like all his eggs are in that basket, so to speak.
Well, that's kind of it for the travel based stuff. I was going to ask you about your kind of friendship and rivalry with a couple of people that we both know very well, namely Nino Bryan and Michael Oku, because both obviously long-term friends and then long-term enemies, right?
Yeah. So like met them both at training. Like I'd obviously never take credit for them, but like had a hand in like helping train them when they were first starting, and if obviously the talent they have and stuff, like gone above and beyond like expectations, like not just from me but from a lot of people, and like constantly smashing it like they both are now. But I think that's the thing that always helped. Like, was always got along and kind of been really good friends with them. So you just have really good chemistry, and then on top of that, like you find when you talk about wrestling with each other as like a fan, from a fan perspective, like both like the same things, like a fan of the same things, and then bonus, like an added bonus on top of that is like, we also like different things, but we kind of appreciate we like different things, and that makes it when we wrestle each other. That's what kind of makes it pretty magic, you know. Like with Nino, I feel like constantly had good matches. With Michael, constantly had like really consistent good matches because we've just been able to like bounce off each other. It's not like I've got this idea, I want to do this, or like no, I don't like that, I want to do this. It's like I've got this idea, well I've got this idea. Like how can we gel them together? We're like yes, and just sort of always on the same page.
And I think what makes it kind of amazing to watch as well is that you know each other so well that you don't even always have to talk as much. You read each other's body language, right? You know what's coming.
And that's like another thing. Like, I guess you know we don't all have the time to do it and stuff like that. But like when you're on shows with a lot of the people who like live in your area, where you're on a lot of shows together, often, if you just look at their stuff or like watch their videos online, it's like all the WWE wrestlers, they probably can go out there and call a match on the fly because they're so used to working each other and they know each other's movesets. You can just go out there and like call each other's spots to one another. So same thing with Mike and Nino. Like I've watched so much of their stuff, like their matches on shows, and I assume they've like watched a lot of mine and stuff. And you know, we've trained together so much, we know each other's sequences of move that when we're planning together, we're like, oh, I'll do this one there or that one there, and you kind of like don't have to stress too much about it as well, because it's not like, oh, this new movement or this sequence that I haven't seen before, which you kind of have to get down. It's kind of like, oh no, yeah, I know that one.
It's not the usual experience in wrestling to be able to like make sure the other person gets their shit in because you know it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And I think the other two people that I think you may have, I know for you, David Francisco, he's wrestled you more than he's wrestled anyone else. I don't know if it works the same the other way around.
Yeah, I think I've wrestled him more than anyone as well. I think I kept note of it, but then I think he kept note of every single one, whether it was like tag match, 6-man, scramble, whatever. And he said, we're like, and I couldn't believe it, but when he showed me them all back, I was like, oh yeah, that all checks out. Now you said them all, I do remember them. I think it was like 27, 28 times.
And David, I think that's why he generally we booked you and him at Mighty because he said it's been nearly a year, and that's like the longest we've ever gone without wrestling each other.
Yeah. Well, it happens again soon.
Yeah, man. I mean,
it'd be great to do it in Southampton because now I'm like big heel at Rev Pro and he's like super over there.
That would be a great match, yeah. Like it's the only place he's over as a face, but yeah.
Yeah. I think that'd be perfect there.
I think the other person you probably, from what, as an outsider, what I think you probably wrestled more than most others, apart from probably David, is Jordan Breaks.
Yeah, I think so. So I feel like Jordan, Nino, Mike, and Roth, they're going to all be in like a similar amount of times with each other that I've wrestled them. So like when I look back on it in my mind, there was like periods where it'd be wrestling them several times in like a year, or like back-to-back shows. So I think it's a similar number with them, but yeah, David by far the most.
Speaking of underrated wrestlers, well, Roth.
Oh,
Alexander Roth.
Yeah,
mate.
he started a year before me at the same school, so I've known him probably longer than I've known anyone in wrestling now. He's always been incredible. I remember when like I first started, he was like the champion of the promotion that we started at, and he was like the only one on the shows, like the charisma, like the presence, like the way he wrestled, like it stood out like a sore thumb because of how good he was.
David always says how jealous he is.
Yeah, I won my first ever belt from him. It was like one of the first ever good matches I had. It's me and him at the small show, like just in front of like 20, 30 people, but it's still like really, really fun match, really, really good time. And I feel like we're overdue we're overdue another one. So that's another thing this year, like since it's coming up to 10 years, like just for my own ego, like my own little like project. I've got like a little few things I want to do, like wrestle Roth again, wrestle Nino again, wrestle Mike, wrestle Jordan Breaks, wrestle David, like my most wrestled opponents.
Oh, yeah, so most people have done lists of people they've never wrestled. You're like,
yeah,
most I want to hit it one more time, right? Let's go.
You've all got dream lists, right?
Yeah. That's a cool list I did have, especially to round out 10 years for yourself before you think of what you're doing next. Right?
My own little like 10-year anniversary vanity project in my mind.
There's got to be some merch in the Conor Mills 10-year anniversary. Right?
Yeah. Good shout. I haven't even thought of that. Yeah, that's definitely on the
Roman numerals, X's, man. X's on everything.
Yeah.
We are nearly at Fanshawe Hall for Wrestle Force, but any last plugs you want to get in? I don't know if we'll get this out before you go to the States, but if you want to plug yourself, and I'll clip it and try to tag people.
Conor Mills 98 on Instagram. It's the main thing. It's my only online account for pro wrestling. But yeah, no other plugs other than that.
Nice. Well, thanks for coming on, Mills. I really appreciate
it. Very fun conversation. It's nice to kind of talk about this stuff, and I never really do podcasts or anything as often as I'd like to. So it's real good to get chatting and just share all of these stories and experience. So hopefully someone can enjoy listening to them.
A couple of exclusives. Yeah, man, love having you on. It's an absolute pleasure. Man. We don't just talk about trainers like normal.
Yeah.
Thank you one more time to my guest, True Grit, Conor Mills. If you want to follow Conor Mills on socials, he is at ConorMills_98 on Instagram. You can find all his wrestling content there. If you want to follow Making Towns, we are at Making Towns Pod on Instagram and at makingtownspod.bsky.social on Blue Sky. I also co-run Purpose Wrestling. We run every month in Wimbledon in London. You can follow Purpose at Purpose Wrestling on Instagram, at WrestlePurpose on X, and at purposewrestling.bsky.social on Blue Sky. I also have another podcast called Cult Classic Society, all about pop culture, and even a side series about Doctor Who, where me and my buddy Tim go over every episode of Doctor Who. You can find the socials for that at CC Society Pod on Instagram and at ccsocietypod.bsky.social on Blue Sky. And if you want to follow me, I am at bdavies_creative on Instagram and at bdavies-creative on Blue Sky. Next time, my guest was supposed to be David Francisco, but unfortunately we've had another falling out when I pointed out the fact that he spells the word centerpiece wrong. So instead of David Francisco, I've got the Shah of professional wrestling, Jordan Saeed. We'll see you next time.
In your face, I'ma shoot on the spot. Doing that, we got the same. I'ma go run up a chain. I'ma go run on your face. I'ma put two to your face. Only producer with snaps. I'ma run wild on the biggest snap. You ain't gonna move with a hit like that. It's rigor mortis with shit like that. It's really important you know who I am. Remember this face cause the shit going ham. Top of the told him the shit my plan. You gonna be looking at no shit bam. Wait, I know shit bam. Wait, this shit is my plan. Wait, I go in ham. Wait, I know I am.